Welcome to our new chronicle in the world of darkness and Vampire the Masquerade. Over the coming weeks, you will hear us play The Sacrifice from Chicago by Night, with Klara Horskjær Herbøl as our storyteller, and the gentleman gamer, Matthew Dawkins, joining our coterie as a player. If you want to learn more about the background to the eclectic characters you will be following and how they were created, we can recommend you listen to the Session 0 that is available right now on our Patreon at the $1 level. This insight is not crucial, but will hopefully heighten your enjoyment of the show, and will also support us to continue making it. If you follow the first season of our chronicle No Man is an Island, we are also happy to report that a raw version of our first play session of Season 2 is also available already today. So, if you want to listen to the continuation of that story right now, there's a great opportunity to do so on Patreon. With all that said, I give to you now The Sacrifice.
Hello dear listeners, and welcome to this first session of Sacrifice, our V5 chronicle taking place in Chicago. Wow, we have had an excellent session 0, and we've complemented it with, I think, a bit of leveling up and adding of skills. How's that gone, Craig?
I have spent my XP, approved it with Klara, it all makes sense, and I believe I am ready to go as the extremely deadly art dealer that I am.
That sounds marvelous. And speaking of Klara, how are you doing today, Klara?
I'm very well. Excuse me if there is like a lot of noise outside. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I'm hearing something. Is that a truck or something?
Oh, I think in Denmark we have a tradition with high school students. When they graduate, they drive around in big trucks and get drunk. I think that's it.
I can hear that.
Yeah,
well, good times. Let's see if they finish by the time we get to Chicago. But, Matthew, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I bide fine. How are I'm doing all right. Looking forward to playing. As mentioned in the character creation recording, I don't really get much of an opportunity to play Vampire, so I think this will be a lot of fun.
This is your day.
Okay, anything else sort of technically that we want to go over before we start?
Yeah, I want to say very quickly that this is a game that's imagined by me. So I'm going to run it in maybe not the way that you, the listener, will run it at home. I'm going to take inspiration from the rules and I'm going to use them my way. So this is something I really recommend everyone doing if they are running a game of Vampire. Take inspiration from the rules. You can follow it very, stringently if you want to, but I really like to just use the rules as inspiration. So that's what I'm going to do. So if you hear something where you're like, oh, that doesn't make sense because it says something else in the rule book, then it's probably because I'm just using it the way I want to. So just a quick disclaimer.
Well, that makes me even more excited.
I'm going to make a quick intro to set the mood, the scene, the game. And from then on, I am going to give the reins to you guys and see where we go on this, our first chapter. This is not a chapter 0, but this is an introductory chapter where we're going to get to know you guys. We're going to get you to know your characters, who they are, and the people surrounding them. So that's basically this game, what this game is going to be about. So welcome everyone to The Sacrifice. You are in Chicago 2019, in a time and a place affected by change. Not only from a mortal viewpoint, but from the eyes of our nightly predators, those of your kind, the vampires. As elders leave the city, beckoned by unforeseen powers to search someplace else, the structure of Chicago is vulnerable and Many see their chance to breach the walls. However, this is not something you as younger vampires know much about. You barely know who you are and what your roles in this newfound existence consist of. Why are you here? Who do you answer to? Do you answer to yourself? To the Camarilla? To your elders or your sire? Do you answer to your parents? Your girlfriend? Your boyfriend? What defines who you are now? Or what you are? Right now, it's a rainy March night in Chicago. The last rays of the sun withdraws from the concrete surface of the street, leaving only the stars and a rare cast from the moon to light the way. The absence of the sun and the late hours does not mean that the city is dying now. No, especially not on a Saturday night. This is when another clientele awakens. The late shifters at the hospital getting ready for yet another busy night. Entertainers of many kinds, from dancers to jazz bands, get ready to stand in the gaze of the crowd. And around road construction, trucks start their engines despite the light drizzle of rain making the holes in the road slippery slopes. Of course, you awaken too. Now is your time to enjoy the life, or unlife, of the city. It lies before your feet. Chicago, the city that never sleeps. So, I would love to know, in this our first chapter, what Alan, Dolph, and Vincent are up to. What do they do on a Saturday night? Do they go out? Maybe to see if they can quench their thirst? Do they stay inside with their loved ones? Vincent Taylor, I would love for you to introduce yourself to the listeners. Who are you? What kind of man or monster are you?
Well, I am Vincent Taylor. I'm a man with a reasonably thin build, though I'm in life wasn't unathletic. Quite the opposite, actually. I like to keep myself fit. Not that that really matters anymore, but I still like to keep up appearances. I still wear my glasses. I don't actually need them anymore, but again, it's part of my look, and my sire informed me that changing looks drastically draws suspicion, so you really shouldn't just suddenly change things. Not suddenly, anyway. I spend Saturday nights out. It's a good time to feed and keep up appearances. I'm an art dealer, after all. I own a small gallery, and I go to all the others. It's always nice to go to the parties and the little gatherings. Granted, I don't enjoy the company at all, mostly. Most people are dull and uninteresting. I didn't really change when I became the way I am. But some people are very interesting. People with ambition, people with skill. Now that tastes good. It tastes very good. It's my preferred palate. My sire's explained that of our clan that's very important, and it just so happens I like what I eat. So Saturdays, yes, I do try and be out in the world and be seen, at least in a fashion. I don't really like to be the center of attention. Unless it's to gain something. No, better just to be there, be known, and let others do all the talking. Gives me time to focus on the art. When I'm not out, of course, I prefer to be at my home. A very nice apartment in one of the high-rises of Chicago. Very close to my sire. She likes me being close, so she can know what I'm doing. I don't have a problem with that, because I love my sire. More than anything. Well, almost, I suppose, but it's a strange feeling. I would do anything for her. She brought me into this world after all, and it's my duty to pay back the gift she has given. So yes, I go out, I mingle, at least for most of the night. Granted, there are occasional times where I'd rather just be at home working on something. I still keep up my own art. Yes, I'm not the big artist I'd like to be, but that's okay for now. At least people know that I know good art, and I do. My opinion is sought, and I give it honestly. I don't really care what people think of me, especially now. So yes, that's what Vincent likes to do on a Saturday night. Go out to the clubs or the galleries, have a drink of someone. I keep my activities quite basic. Pick one nice person a night. And yes, mingle on the town to the best of my ability. Even if maybe I'm not always liked, I'm respected.
Well, Vincent, tonight you awaken mostly like every night. You have this incredibly beautiful luxury apartment overlooking the entire west side of the city. You see all the lights turn on and the last glimmer of the sun just disappearing behind the city blocks. You go into your living room, which is a big open living room connected to the kitchen. It's very modern. You had a interior designer, of course, paid for to design everything in your home. There's art everywhere. Everything from sculptures to paintings you've made yourself, some of them. You're very picky with your paintings, so you've only chosen the very best to be hung in your apartment. The entire back wall to the left side of the kitchen is basically just glass, so you can see everything going on. You get up, stretch yourself, walk over to that wall of glass and look out on the city. You observe what's going on beneath you. All the cars still in long queues for some reason. You see all the nightclubs with people also queuing up. You kind of get a sense of the night. The night is waking up now. You smile. You love this time. You love this early night time where you don't necessarily need to go anywhere, but you can just stand and observe. It's almost like the city is art in itself. You stand there for a little while, but it doesn't take long before you hear your phone ring. Your phone that's placed on the kitchen counter. It's been charging throughout the day.
Yes. I take a moment to trace my finger over the skyline of Chicago. There's so many interesting shapes. You can really get some good ideas. The phone rings. It's a little annoying to be interrupted, but I go and I look at my phone and answer it. Hi, Vincent.
Hi, Vincent. Okay, it's Claudia. So there's this big, art show thing tonight in the city, and it's like this new artist, and everyone is talking about him, and it's so crazy because no one really knows who he is, but it's like his art is so controversial, and everyone loves it. So I really think you should get down here. You should totally come with me because it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, I tell you.
Ah, Miss Messenger. No one's heard of him. Is that necessarily a good thing? We're not dealing with some guy off the street or lady.
No, he isn't. You're misunderstanding. He's not like. He's just. I think he's from France or something. It's so weird. Like his whole thing, his whole like performance thing is like no one knows who he is. So that enables him to like make super controversial art, because if he does something people doesn't like, no one's gonna know who to blame. So you totally need to come. You totally need to come. You can't miss this.
Well, you're pulling my arm, Claudia, but if you insist, well, okay then. What's his name? If he has a name.
He doesn't have a name. Okay, get this. His artist's name is unknown. Isn't that cool? It's so original.
Is it?
Yeah?
On the other end of the phone, I kind of roll my eyes. And I say, yes, Claudia. Really original. I love it.
Great. Okay, so are you gonna come? Or because I can just come and pick you up and we can go there. Or you can like go yourself if you want to. That's like totally up to you.
I can go myself, Claudia. You know I like to travel alone.
So you don't... Okay, yeah. Okay, but it's like in 30 minutes he kind of just pops up. And for some reason he gets like empty like locations in the city like within the hour. It's so crazy, but that's just something he does. He's so awesome. You feel yourself getting a little... You don't know what this feeling is. It's almost like jealousy.
Yes.
But you don't want to acknowledge it. You kind of just want to brush it off. But there is a part of you that's a little bitter. Not because you like Claudia necessarily, but because... Who does he think he is? This is your city. He can't just come in here, not have an artist name, and get a room within the hour when it's so hard to get anywhere to have an art studio in Chicago. How does he do that?
It is most annoying, and the whole shtick. Oh, look at me, I'm unknown, as if that was original. Nobody cares if you're unknown or known, it's your work. But I can only imagine some fool with sunglasses and a goatee. But I admire the audacity. There is something to be admired in just coming and making a scene. It'll be fun to tear someone down like that if they aren't actually the big cheese. Yes, no, I shall go, I think to myself. I shall. Yes, Claudia, give me an address. I'll have my driver take me.
Okay, so it's right next... Do you know Crooks? Like the bar?
Do I know the bar, Crooks?
You've heard of it. It's kind of like a it's a real it's not very high class. It's somewhere you go when you don't have a lot of money but you really want to get drunk. And it's owned by crooks. And it's kind of like there are several bars around Chicago.
Yes, I know of the Crooks.
So it's the one on the west side. You know? The one by the mall.
Thank you, Claudia. I'm sure this is going to be delightful.
I'm so excited that you are so excited, because I was super nervous that you wouldn't come and you would kind of like think that this guy is nothing. But I could totally hear in your voice that you're so excited. So I'm like, this is gonna be so great. Okay, see you in like 30 minutes. Meet me outside.
I shall hang up my phone and go to the intercom system of the apartment.
Alright.
And summon my man, Mr. Teller.
Yeah. So you go to your intercom system and it takes a little while for you to get a hold of him. It's late. So he's getting ready for his shift. He knows he has to be up during the night, being your sire's school. And you hear a... Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Mr. Teller. We're making a little trip. We're going to the Crook's Bar. Simply delightful. I'm sure you'll agree, yeah?
Excuse me, sir, but the Crook's Bar?
Yes. You don't need to know why. You're just driving me there. We've discussed this before.
Certainly, sir. I will get the car ready and it'll be ready in 10 minutes.
Good boy. Good man. Cheers.
Alright. So, now that you have a plan for the evening, I think we're gonna jump onto our next person here. And I think we're gonna see what Dolph is doing. What are you doing, Dolph, on a Saturday night?
I think Dolph's waking moments, minutes, follow the American Psycho style routine. Most of what Dolph does in the first few minutes, first hour of waking is completely unnecessary for a vampire. But he has his regimen, he has a certain routine, he still likes to exfoliate, he still likes to make sure he's perfectly oiled and perfumed, he likes to ensure his hair is not at all out of place, and he will intersperse that with a couple of showers. He will also do exercise, knowing it's completely unnecessary, but he does it because he likes to feel that connection to being alive. While some vampires might consider it a complete nonsense affectation, for Dolph, this is one of the things that completely roots him in the person he was as a mortal. So he does a bit of time on the cross trainer, he does a little bit of time lifting weights, he goes through his beauty routine. He largely ignores his girlfriend Ada while he's doing this. She knows that this is what he does when he wakes up, and if she tries to interrupt him, he will probably tell her to wait. And then once he's done, and he's toweled off, and he's wearing something suitably sharp, he will enter the living area of his rather plush house, I have to say. He does have a very nice house on the lakeside, part of the Gold Coast of Chicago, because all that money from modeling has gone somewhere. So he steps down into the living area, just a few steps down. It's one of those lovely split level interiors. And he says to Ada, "How do I look tonight?"
Excellent as always.
Good. That is what I was going for.
Do you ever doubt that you look good? Honestly.
Well, you never know when something might be a fraction out of place. And you, of course, look absolutely ravishing as ever.
I'm not wearing anything special.
That doesn't stop you from looking absolutely ravishing, and you know how beautiful I think you are.
She blushes a bit and smiles, and she doesn't really... You can tell that Ada is a little different from Dolph. She is also a model, but she is not as popular as Dolph is. She is more a commercial and family-friendly model than Dolph, that does a little more experimental stuff. She is very pretty, very conventionally pretty. She looks like the girl next door. With her long blonde hair, she's put up in two braids, and she is wearing a light, almost kind of like camisole dress and a couple of high heels. She is making herself some tea, and very routinely she is opening the fridge and pouring blood into a cup, almost like she's been doing that for years. She knows what Dolph is. She has, after a long time, accepted that that's who he is. It does change their routine a lot as a couple, because she needs to be up at night, but as she is a student, she doesn't really mind. She can read throughout the night and sleep throughout the day with Dolph.
You know what I love about you most, Ada?
No, what?
You ground me. When I look at you, and you are always so earthy in appearance. You know, your outfits, your makeup, the way you do your hair. It's so street level. And sometimes when my head is completely lost up in the stars, I really need to wake up, as I do after I go through my routine, see you and think, okay, that is where I am, that is who I am, and that is who I'm with. And I'm so glad you don't have any pretensions of being anything more than that.
Well, thank you, darling. You are complimenting me a lot tonight. That's very nice of you.
I've woken up in a good mood, and please put that red liquid away back where you found it. You know I prefer to drink from sleepers, not from bags. I'm trying to put everything into a routine, and I can't help but think that this isn't the way others do it. It's a very difficult balancing act, I can tell you, but I know we paid a great deal. I had to pay a great deal for that circulatory system group to even get a supply, but I have to say that I don't think this is what most kindred, as we call ourselves, do.
Baby, listen. I know that you have a preference in blood, but I don't want you to become, what you become when you get really hungry. So she hands you the cup. Just at least drink this. You never know if you can get anything else tonight.
He stares at her for a while, stares at the cup, and to him it's a little like being handed a cup of instant noodles. This is the cheap option. This is what you do when you don't have enough time to prepare a decent meal. And he drinks it. And he puts it down.
Ada smiles. She's obviously very pleased about that. She has seen Dolph when he is at his worst. Not only with his addiction problems, but also with his need of blood. When he is at his lowest, he becomes something else, as most kindred do. And she is trying her very best to keep him on a straight line. She gets up after sitting for a while at the dinner table looking at Dolph, just small talking about everything, what they're going to do the night after, what the week is bringing, and she pulls out his telephone or his phone from her pocket and says, "Oh yeah, this has been going off all day, so..."
"Why have you got my phone?" He reaches over and grabs it.
I just took it from the bedroom. I just wanted to give it to you.
Don't take my phone.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to give it to you because it's been going on.
Well, I would have found it when I woke up, wouldn't I?
She goes quiet and kind of retracts in her chair. Almost like a child that's being told off.
It's okay, I know why you did it. But you don't see me checking your phone, do you? Probably because there's no one of interest in it. No, I would have seen that, oh yes, several missed calls.
So when you look down on your phone, you see you are very active on Instagram, and you have a Facebook page with thousands and thousands of followers for your modeling career. And you do see a lot of people talking about this event at Succubus Club tonight. This big event. Secret. incredibly secret. You have some very influential people actually texting you and saying, you need to come to this. This is important.
Now, for as much as Dolph has the affectation of being a dick and generally full of himself, the one thing he feels completely uncomfortable with is kindred society. He is still firmly entrenched in the immortal life. He still has a job. He still gets an income. He still has a mortal girlfriend. And for that reason, he's largely avoided the Succubus Club and the other members of his clan that reside in Chicago, other than those who have told him what he is, what he needs to avoid, and something about some cult or religion or other that really doesn't interest him a great deal. He tends to avoid the Succubus Club and the Blue Velvet and other locations like that. But if there is something going on, who is sending him these messages? Who's making these posts online? Is it just followers, members of his entourage, or is it any vampires that he knows of that are still openly using the internet?
Well, it's basically everyone within his reach. Everyone is talking about this. Everyone is asking, how do I get tickets to this event? Where is it? When is it starting? What's going on? Obviously, a lot of mortals have heard about this too, but it seems like no one has been able to get a ticket yet. You have been getting a few messages from some influential vampires in the city, and some quite big models, maybe even bigger than you, who's saying, are you coming tonight? We have tickets for you. You just need to say your name and you'll be able to get inside. There'll be a lot of job opportunities, so you have to be there.
Would you like to go out tonight, Ada? Well, I see you're looking a little tired.
Well, we have a dinner thing with my parents, right?
Well, yes, but I was looking for a way out of that anyway, as you know.
You promised to be there. This is the third time in a row you're gonna skip out on it.
Well, what am I supposed to eat?
We'll just say that you're not feeling well. The Smythe Winters are coming over too. It's really important for my dad. Please?
Smythe Winters, did you say?
Yeah.
Heaven's sake.
My dad's boss.
Suppose
I know you don't
their
like
daughter's
them.
a model, they know all about fasting. And when is dinner? I'm assuming it's quite soon.
Yeah, it's like in 1.5 hours or something. You can go to the thing afterwards. I mean, I've heard about it now.
Well, I suppose I wouldn't be called fashionably late if it wasn't fashionable. So, yes, we'll go to the family dinner. We'll have a grand old time, and I'll give your mother a kiss on both cheeks as she likes. And then we'll go somewhere decent. But for the love of God, we've only got an hour and a half, you'd better spend that time getting ready.
Okay. I'm more or less ready, but I'll do something more. So, what kind of party is this? How do I dress for it? It's like a club, or what is it?
From what I know of the Succubus, it seems to have every kind of music going, and I've no idea what kind of music's going tonight, but as it appears to be some kind of... that's the place where this big party is after dinner. But what I would recommend, as it seems to be fairly exclusive, is if you've been sent any promotional outfits by any of your contacts or agencies, get something a bit chic so that if someone is taking photos, they can at least say, oh, what's she wearing, and give a little publicity to whoever it is that's paying you these
Dolph,
nights.
Sweetheart, I know you're very smart, you're very talented, you're very handsome, but I'm not stupid. I know how to do my job, okay?
Well, you're the one who asked what to wear.
Yeah, I was just asking what kind of party it is.
It's an exclusive party, dear.
Thank you. I love you very much.
Get ready.
She gets up, brushes herself up, and she disappears into a room next door. So you are sat alone with your phone, and you can see that this thing is blowing up. Everyone and their mother has heard about this now. It's kind of odd to you, because normally when there are events at Succubus Club, mortals will not know, or it will not be advertised as a secret party or a secret club event. It will be advertised as something that it completely isn't. So you are wondering who is making this event happening, who is behind this party. Now that Dolph has plans, I think we should move on to our last character, Alan.
Yeah.
So Alan, I would love for you to just introduce yourself. Just tell us who you are and tell us what you normally do on a Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm Alan. I'm a jazz pianist. I play at a few different clubs here in Chicago. That's usually what I do on the Saturday night. Yeah, when my day off is usually Mondays and Tuesdays, and then mostly the rest of the week I play at different places. And well, tonight my agent Joseph has got me this. It's a good gig. It's one of the clubs that I really like. It's called Down with the Wine. It's not bad, but I'm just really tired, and my agent convinced me to get out on a tour, and it's the first one that I've done since my embrace, and it was terrible. It was horrible. I don't know. It was really hard just getting some sleep, and I got a nice, especially accommodated sort of tour bus for me, and the rest of the band. They got their own sort of bus as well, but it was terrible. And it was I missed Michael too an awful lot. My boyfriend. And of course I had to take the dogs with me, and it wouldn't be fair to them if I didn't take them out, So I wouldn't want anyone else in the house anyway, so might as well take them along. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm not in a good mood today.
All right, so Alan, you've spent the night in your boyfriend's apartment, and your boyfriend does not know who or what you are, that you are actually a vampire. So this is a perfect example of having a relationship where it's fully known that the other partner is a vampire, and one where it is not known. He doesn't even know how you really look.
Yeah.
So you wake up in your boyfriend's apartment. He is a musician like you, but he's not the best musician. He's kind of got a bad reputation. He's had a couple of nights in some LGBTQ clubs where he has acted a little out of order, gotten a little too drunk. So he's more or less banned from a lot of clubs, which makes it very difficult for him to play. He was even thrown out of your band, and he's very bitter about that. He's angry at the world for not accepting who he is. He's angry at the gay community for banishing him. He's angry with you because he didn't feel like you did enough to keep him in the band, but you felt like you didn't have a choice. It's not up to you to decide who's in the band or not. After he's kind of had a a rough time of it. He fell into a bit of a depression. He stopped playing music. He, at least in public space, he didn't perform anymore. He stopped going out. He started letting himself go a bit too. It doesn't really matter too much to you because you know what you look like. So you can't judge. But you are worried about him because he doesn't seem like himself anymore. You wake up in this apartment, and this is a new apartment he just got because he couldn't pay the other one. So this is in downtown Chicago. It's a 1-bedroom apartment. It's kind of messy. There is clothes almost everywhere, piled up on chairs and in front of the door, and records. An old record player is still playing from the night before, or it's not playing, but it's just turned on, and it's just kind of like going on in the same record you put on. He wakes up and kind of rubs his face and sits on the edge of the bed. He doesn't even look at you. You can see on him it's another one of those days. It's not a rough one. But for some reason, something inside of you, and you've been wanting to do this for a long time, something inside of you wants to finally tell him what you really are and show him what you really are. Maybe that'll make him feel better about himself. Because not only is he miserable, you're miserable too, so you can be miserable together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I see him sitting up there in the bed, and do vampires dream?
Yes, they dream.
Yeah, and I just had this strange dream where I was talking to him on the phone, and I was trying to tell him that I didn't want to go to the place tonight, and in the dream he knew everything, and it was just normal and good, you know, and I knew I could come to his place, and now I feel like that dream is slipping away from me as I see him there, and I'm like, oh, I still have to tell him, and well, maybe it will be for the better. Maybe he'll really accept me. And I look over to him and I say, hey, how you doing today? How you feeling?
You can feel on your skin and your face that the bane or the curse of your clan is starting to show through. Normally it go throughout the night, you're fine, so you've made sure that if he wakes up during the night and he looks at you, he doesn't see who you really are, but in the early morning hours, the effect is kind of running out. So you can feel your skin is starting to sag a bit. You can feel it's kind of getting loose around your cheeks. Actually, I think it would be a good idea if you describe what Alan really looks like when he is not using blood to conceal his true self.
Looking at Alan is like looking at someone whose skin is melting, whose face is slowly falling apart. You can't really explain what you're seeing. It's just like you described. It's sagging continually, as in a fluid motion. And if you look really closely, you will see in the gaps of the skin between the eyes 100 small little antennae of insects looking out, feeling out what's going on around the body. And this is the same all over the body, even the fingers. It looks as if the skin is about to melt and fall off in drops around the nails. All the skin is just it's looking more like some kind of goo that someone had desperately plastered on her body than actual skin. And it's horrible. I don't keep a single mirror at home because I hate myself, and I don't understand how this could happen, but it's part of me now.
So, Alan right now has a choice. He has a strong need for Michael to know who he is. So normally, by this time in the morning, he would use his blood to conceal what he really looks like. But for some reason, he just feels like, no, not today. Today is the day where I'm going to tell Michael, I'm going to show Michael what I am. Because I know that he will love me for who I am. I'm sure of it. Michael just turns around haphazardly and he doesn't really seem like he is enjoying your presence. He doesn't even seem like he's enjoying his own presence, for that matter. And he kind of shrugs, looks down at his feet, goes, yeah, I guess I'm fine. I had another nightmare, so it's just, same old.
Yeah. What did you dream this time?
The dream about you, the dream I have sometimes where your face appears and it's just full of blood?
Yeah, you told me about that,
Yeah, that's the one again, man. It's so weird. And I feel like in the dream, it's not even your blood, it's someone else's blood, and it's just fucking me up.
Yeah. Michael, I want to talk to you about something. It's how life is. It's pretty shitty now. I know what you're going through, man. I've been through a lot of shit myself. And what's important is that we have each other. I really want to be there for you.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be there for you too. I'm so tired of everything. I just want things to be normal. I really want to move out to that country house we looked at the other day.
Yeah.
I really want to do that so bad. I just want to get away from this fucking city. It's driving me nuts.
I think we could, man. It's just that, I got my work here, and I think you could have too, if you... It's been a bit rough lately, but I think... maybe we could just use a bit of vacation, we get away, the two of us. What do you think of that? We could just, a few weeks.
Yeah, with what money, Alan? And you're bringing up me not working. You know how I feel. You know how hard this is for me.
Listen, Alan, things aren't as good as things aren't as good as they might appear with me either. There's something that I've been wanting to tell you for a while now, and there's something that it's pretty messed up about my life too, and it's something that I haven't really told anyone.
You see, you grab Michael's attention a little more. He turns around in the bed, and now he seems more focused on you. He's kind of like half turned around, but he's definitely looking at you with those big green eyes that you fell in love with to begin with. He kind of looks a little scruffy. He looks like he hasn't been shaving for at least a week. And he's been wearing the same t-shirt now for 3 days, but he looks so attractive to you. He is beautiful in your eyes. And you kind of stop for a moment and just take him in. He is the only one who has ever accepted you, but the problem is you've never shown him who you really are.
And as he turns towards me and I feel my appearance is weakening, I swallow when I feel really nervous. If I could sweat or that my pulse could increase, that's what would be happening. But I still feel it intensely. I'm overwhelmed by this feeling of nervousness, and I am just millimeters away from trying to refresh my facade, but at the same time I have to let him see. I know if anyone, he will understand, and I just wait there for a second to see if he reacts to anything that he sees.
So you are trying to, right now you're actually trying to fight against what you would find completely natural in this situation, that is hiding yourself.
Yeah.
I would like a composure performance from you. It's 6 and up.
I get 4 successes, and my hunger die doesn't get a success.
Okay, does it get a failure?
5.
5, okay. So you, despite everything in your body, every single inch of your body, wanting to cave in to this need to hide yourself, you stand by what you're about to do, and slowly your face starts to droop. You start to almost transform in front of your boyfriend. And you can see Michael's face turning from intrigue to concerned until he almost furrows into a disgust, fear. You've never seen Michael look like this before. He starts to shake, lifts his hand and points against you and says, Helen, your face, what's happening to your face, man? Look in the mirror.
This is what I wanted to tell you about. I have a thing. I have a condition. And I've been hiding it from you.
What the fuck?
I feel terribly ashamed, and I know I look hideous.
What the fuck is
Michael,
happening with you,
just,
man? A condition?
Look,
you are literally transforming before my eyes. What the fuck is going on?
It's something that takes a lot of energy to control, and
energy? What are you talking about?
It's just a thing. I have a thing with my body. This is something that I've had for several years, and I know we've been going out for quite a while, and listen, I just need you to listen, okay? I know you're gonna freak out, and this is something you probably never seen before, but it's still me. I promise. And
what condition is this? I've never heard of anything like this.
That's the thing, you see. It's something that is not talked about. It's certain circles of people who have similar conditions, and they've all become sort of adapted, hiding themselves. And
what's the condition called?
I'm a vampire, Michael.
What? Man, you're losing it. I thought I was losing it. What? A vampire? So you suck blood?
I live from blood from other beings. Yes.
Is this some sort of?
I never taken yours. I know this is completely out of this world, but I'd like to introduce you to my real world. It's gonna be a lot to take in. I get that, and if you need time to think, I understand as well. But I can't hide for you anymore. Please,
he sits down on a chair, and a bunch of clothes, and he just puts his head in his hands and shakes it. I said, what the fuck is going on? A vampire? A vampire? What?
Yeah. I know it sounds stupid, and it's like a fairy tale, but it's true, Michael. We exist. Not everyone is like me, of course. I was just unlucky to be struck by this condition that I have, particularly that looks like I do.
I need to, you need to go. I can't handle this.
Please, Michael, I'm just asking you to please take it into consideration and keep your cool. Please don't drink anything tonight, okay? And just try to think about this. This is still me. The soul is me. Everything else is just an appearance to me. Nothing else is different. I don't go around, killing people or anything like that. I'm still me, the kind person. I want to keep doing my thing. I want to play my band. And look, if you want to go out on a holiday or anything with me, I would do anything with you. I would put money aside.
You lied to me.
I would do anything.
You've been lying to me for 3 years. 3 years, Alan. You've been lying to me about who you are. 3 years!
When he says this to me, it feels like a relief somehow that is his biggest concern. I sigh and I slump back, and I know, Michael, I know, and I'm not asking you to forgive me or anything, but it's something that I'm hoping that you will find in your heart. It's my appearance. Think of it as someone who uses an excessive amount of makeup and trying to fool the world that there's someone else, but I know this is horrible to look at. That's why I don't have mirrors at home.
I don't care about what you look like. Okay, that's not what this is about. I care that you fucking lied to me for 3 years. That's what I care about. That you've been someone else. You're not Alan. You're some
I am Alan.
Liar. That's who you are. You're some liar, and I don't date liars, okay? So get out. Just get out of my apartment.
Michael,
No, get out. Get out of my apartment. Get out.
I get out of the bed and I start. I understand. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Michael, please call me. And I start moving out of the apartment.
Alright. So you move out of the apartment. It's still slightly raining outside. You kind of stand on the street and you look up on this 4th floor where he lives. You can see his shadow. You can see the light behind him. He's walking around. You see a couple of items flying through the air. It looks like just clothing. You hear things hitting the wall. You hear Michael in distress, obviously. But you kind of got the message. You know that he needs time, at least, to think about all this.
And I stand there and I'm sad and I'm shook up, and at the same time there's a big sort of weight that's lifted from my heart. I'm by no means happy, but in some way I am relieved that I actually said it. I actually did it. Maybe he'll find it in his heart to forgive me and understand. I hope he will.
The only thing you know right now is you have a show. You have a show to play at Crooks, actually, at the west side.
Yeah, that's right.
And
that's right.
You have around an hour to get ready and get there. You feel horrible, but at the same time, you feel like you've done the right thing. No matter if he accepts who you are or not, at least now he knows who you are. So, you feel alright. You hope that he's texting you back and you're constantly checking your phone to see if he's trying to contact you or just anything. But you don't see anything.
And I'm walking along, and I feel the dog treats in the pocket of my coat, and I take a few out, and I call, dogs.
You hear a couple of, like a rumble from a trash can from one of the dead ends just right next to you, and 3 dogs comes running over to you. They are the same 3 dogs that lives in the area. You know all about them. You've actually followed one of them since it was a puppy. And they seem very happy to see you, at least. When Michael is not happy, at least they are. So it kind of brings you a little warmth back in your mind, and it changes your attitude a bit. Although you're sad, you feel a little more loved now. You've always had this very good relationship with animals, and you know that you can always count on them to show you affection.
Yeah, that's good, dogs. That's good. Oh, look at you, brown dog. You gone? This is so big, and here you go. Here's some treats for you, and you sit nicely. And oh no, that's not for you, white dog. That's for black dog. And then I gave them over. I never really give them names. It's just easier this way because I meet so many of them.
All right, so I think it's time that we turn back to Vincent.
Yes.
So, Vincent, you are more or less ready to go out. It doesn't take long for you to get ready. It's not like you don't care about your looks, but you know you look decent. You know you can look better than you already do. You are wearing a suit that you really like from a local designer. And you think you look sharp. You check yourself in the mirror. You put a little gel into your hair. You accept how you look. You know you're not the best looking man in the world, but you're definitely not too shabby.
No, I like to dress smart, but not completely smart. My suits aren't the finest suits, but they work. They're quite casual in a way, really. I don't wear a tie. I wear quite loose sort of suit jackets with, like, sort of nice shirts underneath, jeans or suit trousers. And yes, I look good enough.
It doesn't take long before Frank sticks his head in. Frank is a little tiny, kind of roundly built man. He's been serving your sire for as long as you can remember. He has a red mustache and has a half bald head, and he's put a cap on it, and he is wearing his usual coat and jeans look. He has never changed his look for as long as you can remember, and as long as your sire can remember, really. And he sticks his head in and kind of knocks on the frame of the door. Mr. Taylor?
Enter.
I just wanted to say your car is ready. I'm sorry, my boots are not the cleanest right now, so I don't want to step into your car.
Well, that's all right, Frank. After all, cleaning your boots is just something people do, except you, right?
Yes, I suppose.
I smile at Frank as if what I've said was hilarious, and begin moving towards the door. Any mail?
No, sir. Just the bills for the rent of the art studio. I'm taking care of that. Nothing of interest.
I nod. I have an interesting system. Obviously, no mail comes to this address because no one knows. I live at this address. Who doesn't need to know anyway. Instead, my sire's arranged a sort of little on the outskirts apartment where apparently I live, and Frank keeps up appearances there every now and again, just to make sure, in her words, no one gets a bit too close to wanting to take a little snap of me during the daytime.
Frank doesn't really say much. He's never been much of a talker. He knows that he is best off just doing his job and keeping his mouth shut. So that's what he does most of the time. He does answer to questions, but it's very plain, very yes, no, perhaps. So he's not a very intriguing person to talk to, which kind of annoys you, because a part of you wants to know who he is. What does your sire see in him? And a part of you is very intrigued by this mysterious person that seems so plain, but there must be something more to him. There must be something more to this guy. Does he have a family? Who is he? What did he do before he became a part of the society?
Yes, yes, it definitely does interest me. I am rather unpleasant to him, but in the way I am with everyone, really. I don't actually deliberately antagonize him, because I do acknowledge at the end of the day that he is my sire's property, and I need to respect my sire's property.
Frank has been in the business for many years. Frank has been your sire's school for many, many years, as mentioned. He is quite used to being stepped on, talked down to by vampires, so he just accepts your belittling without much of a fuss. He kind of laughs once in a while to release the mood, or kind of just shrugs it off. It's not like he's annoying you, but it's like he has this shell, this armor on, because he knows what he is, he knows his rank, and he knows that he just has to accept being belittled. So there's a very nice Mercedes, a black Mercedes, waiting for you. You can see that he's just washed it. He doesn't keep himself very fashionable or clean, but he does keep his car and everything else surrounding him clean, and he is a very meticulous man when it comes to that. You can see that he's really used a long time on it, and it pleases you. It's nice, it's aesthetic, and when people see you in the city, you like to have a good demeanor and have a good way to show yourself.
Indeed. And yes, I take a moment to adjust my glasses with the dark lenses, of course, because it makes everyone think I'm mysterious. Some people think an idiot, but well, I don't need them anyway, and I can see just fine with dark lenses, to a point anyway.
He opens the door for you, and you sit in the back of the car, and he looks at you in the mirror and says, "Where to, sir? Are you sure you want to go to Crooks?"
Yes, Frank. Apparently there's some big know-it-all, very impressive. I have to go and see for myself, if only so I can destroy him.
That sounds very nice, sir. He starts the car and pulls out, and you are now seeing the city a little closer than when you were standing at your apartment. You love the nighttime of the city. This is your favorite place to be. You love every little single detail of the buildings, the architecture. You love to look at other people's outfits, because sometimes it's like it's art in itself. The makeup of some women they've used hours on, and it's like you're seeing every little detail, just letting it flow through your body, and it's almost giving you the feeling of being alive again.
Yes. There is still inspiration to be had in every little thing, really. I sometimes feel that's what is lacking in some mortals. It's a little different now I am the way I am. There are some interesting kindred artists, although I do find some a little gauche. They say they feel better art now they are the way we are, but they're just relying on the blood. It's not in the blood, not really, it's more than that. They don't quite get that, but then they don't often listen to my opinion. There's a certain group especially who don't, but I can't change their opinion on things. Not yet, anyway.
It doesn't take long for you to get to the place where Cecilia wanted you to go. It's 10 minutes away in your car. It really doesn't take long, and the traffic isn't too bad right now. So Frank pulls in, and he parks outside of Crook's, which is this dingy little bar. Apparently right now it's being renovated. You can't really tell. There is a lot of people outside smoking in groups, laughing, drinking beer. You can definitely see that this is not only a place for kindred, but also mortals. And right next to it is just an abandoned building. That's what it looks like to you. It doesn't look like a fancy art gallery. It doesn't look like some new artist who is trying to show off. It just looks like an abandoned building. But this is the exact place Claudia wanted you to go. So, did she give you a wrong address? Frank turns around and looks at you and says, "Well, sir, here we are. This is where I usually go to drink. Just a brief reminder of that. I don't think
This is where you go to drink.
Yes, sir. It's cheap."
Well, isn't that radical?
I was saying that to warn you that maybe it isn't a place for a man in your status. I'm sure Mrs. Strauss would be upset if she heard you were here.
I kind of actually twitch a little at that, as a little part of me is very worried that he is completely right. I cannot. Often, any time the very thought of upsetting or annoying my sire comes up, I have this strange clench in my chest, even though there is no longer any heartbeat, most of the time. That makes something happen. But I kind of just take a deep breath, tap my fingers a few times and say, "Franca, I'm here for a reason. I'm not here to just enjoy the nightlife. Apparently, there's someone interesting here. She'd want me to make sure that they're interesting or not."
My apologies, sir. It's not my place to say whether you should go somewhere or not. I will keep my mouth shut, and please call me when you are ready to be picked up again.
Yes, I make sure I have my little pager. I don't give him a proper phone call, of course. The pager does. I look around, though. Are there people here? Is it busy?
You do see a couple of other confused people that look very artsy to you. They look like typical art museum attendants. They look like people who enjoy the finer arts of especially paintings. That's what you kind of see. You know the clientele. You know what they look like. You can spot them in a crowd of thousands, and they are definitely artsy people. They are standing in pairs or groups and looking just as confused as you are. And one of them is looking in through the window, but the window is covered by these brown paper bags. It just looks abandoned. There's not even light inside of it.
One thing does spring to mind, just to be on the safe side. I'm not in anyone's direct territory, am I?
Not as far as you know. As far as you know, this territory just belongs to the prince. So it should be neutral. It should be fair. It shouldn't be anything dangerous at all.
Good. I have connections, and it's normally fine, but as my sire told me many times, the traditions are extremely important. I had to recite them once every day for a year. So, I do worry about those sort of things. But this is fine, and I think I'm in the right place, so I'm going to go in. Let's go in.
Alright, so just as you're about to grab the handle to this place, Claudia runs up to you, or you hear Claudia's voice. Hey, sorry I'm late. Hi everyone. Are you ready? Like, it looks kind of close, doesn't it?
I turn to Claudia and give my usual method of agreeing with someone or acknowledging someone, which is just sort of stare at them for a bit and bob my head very slowly.
Are we supposed to go in now? Is it now? Are you just going in? Oh man, you're so radical.
Yes, I'm going to use the door, Claudia. Is that a problem?
No. It's just so, I'm so excited. Okay, so, yeah, okay, I guess we just open the door. I don't know how you do this.
Your lack of knowing what's going on, Claudia, is starting to concern me just a little. You do have the right building, yes?
Yeah, it's here. And a couple of people behind her just nodding, saying, yes, we heard that it's here. The art exhibition is here now.
Well, go on then, Claudia, dear. Open the door, will ya?
Oh, I'm supposed to. Okay, I'm gonna open the door then. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Because, I'm so excited. Okay. She grabs the handle, and it says click, and the door opens. And as soon as she steps inside, normally you would expect that lights would turn on, but it's just dark. It's just pitch black. You, with your vampiric abilities, you are able to see in darkness a little better than mortals are. And you do see a couple of almost, it looks like big aquariums. It's very odd to you. It's not something you've seen before. It's not paintings on a wall. You just see these big squares. But you can't really tell what's inside of them. People flock in with you and they look amazed and fascinated, and some of them are even taking pictures of nothing, but they think it's a part of the experience. They are already engaged. The door closes behind everyone, and you're just standing in this pitch blackness in the middle of what you would think is a very big room. Actually, you can hear on the acoustics in the room. It's a very tall ceiling.
I kind of look around a little. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not impressed. I feel the concept of nothing being something is dry and dull. I can paint a white canvas white and say it's art. Right now, I'm sensing a lot of showmanship, not necessarily skill. So I'm not impressed, but I can be patient. I will start tapping my shoulder a little with my hand, which Claudia can hear and will know is a telltale sign that I'm getting impatient.
Claudia looks back at you, and she's definitely getting stressed. She knows she has to do something right now to keep you there and impress you. So she starts looking around, and then she just steps into the room, further into the room. As soon as she does that, you hear the clicks of light going on. They flicker a couple of times before they reveal what is actually inside of this room. Inside of this room are indeed what looks like big aquariums, but instead of fish, there are what looks like to be suspended bodies, corpses, in threads, ropes, hanging around in different positions. Some of them are in athletic positions, where they are running, or jumping, or throwing something. One of them is holding a spear. You see, if you look to your left, there's more like an everyday kind of exhibition where corpses are placed around a dinner table. Corpses of children, adults, elderly, positioned like they are at a normal family dinner, but eerily, of course, not in movement. They are pale almost bluish, some of them almost black and grayish, like they've been decaying for a little while. You see that they are all dressed, at least the ones in the everyday part of the exhibition, almost dressed as if an alien would come to Earth and analyze what people wear and then put people in clothing. Almost eerily normal, but so off. Even you, and you've seen your share of corpses and your share of odd artwork, even you almost get shivers down your spine. This is incredibly odd. In the beginning, it's just quiet. People are in shock. That's pretty clear to you. But there's also a fascination. And one of the attendants, they pull out a camera and clicks. And as soon as he does that, everyone else seems to pull out cameras. They take selfies, they become a little more comfortable just walking around looking at these corpses. And Claudia turns around to look at you, and her eyes are bigger than they've ever been. She is loving this. Oh my god. Okay, are you seeing this? Oh my god.
It's certainly audacious, Claudia. But I'm going to need a little closer look. You're letting showmanship blind your judgment. Anyone can dress a mannequin up, splatter some blood on it, and make it look dramatic. Admittedly, internally, I am feeling that there is something a little amiss here. I'm really starting to wonder about the nature of our guest artist. Could he be, or could they be? Also, there's the question of value, which internally I'm calculating. The issue being that actually this sort of thing, the sort of people who want to buy this sort of thing are very particular. Very particular. Sometimes that's not actually that good. But no, I will raise an eyebrow, and I shall go over to one of the fish tank exhibitions and just take a really good look. What are these? Are they really human corpses? I think I could be able to tell. Or are they just very clever craftsman's work?
Alright, so what you're looking at right now is the everyday exhibition. And it seems like it's like the same family, almost. It's this family of a mother and a father and two children, a boy and a girl. Around the same age, the boy is a little younger than the girl. It seems like that's what the artist tried to portray, at least, but he's obviously using different bodies for all of the exhibitions. So one of them is the one where they're sitting around a dinner table. Another one, they are in a makeshift car. So you just see one car door or one side of a car, and the father is driving. They look almost like they dress like a, actually, let me see. Why don't you give me an intelligence etiquette? And remember to include your 1 hunger die.
Yes, so that is very well. That would be 3 successes.
Right. So right now you are looking at what to you seems the most interesting of all the exhibitions. It's actually one of the most more simple ones. It is one with the family again. And they are all dressed in the same clothes throughout the different exhibitions. So the dad is always wearing this tweed suit with a hat. The mom is always wearing a green dress. They do differ a bit, but it's more or less the same. The little girl is wearing braids and a tartan almost like a schoolgirl dress, and little boy is wearing a sailor outfit. So it's very much like a movie-esque portrayal of what a perfect family look like. So what you're looking at right now is just a family standing hand in hand. The father's hand is lifted by one of these ropes to almost like do a waving motion. But it seems like what you would think is rigor mortis has set in before they could actually open his hand fully. So they have to put screws in between the fingers and the base of the hand to keep them straight. And his eyes are just wide open, almost like they had to remove his eyelids in order to keep his eyes open. He seems like he's the most decayed of all the bodies there, whereas the mother and the two children seem more fresh. But as you're getting closer, you are going to give me a resolve investigation roll.
No successes.
Okay.
But no bad failure on the hunger dice.
Do you have anything in medicine?
Not at all.
Not at all. Alright. So, you have a difficult time determining if these are real corpses or just very persuasive or persuading dolls. You are almost standing with your face pressed against this aquarium and trying to figure out every single detail. Does it look like congealed blood on the floor? Is it just fake blood? Are the eyes their own eyes, or are they glass? What's up with these people? You can't figure it out, no matter how much you try to analyze these corpses, or what looks like corpses to you.
This is annoying me a great deal. To the outsider, it does appear as if I'm just standing very still and just tilting my head back and forth. Internally, of course, I'm trying to assess this. What's the point? Is this a comment on family life, the meaningless of existence, the mask we wear to hide the rot underneath, just shock value, deeper meaning? Why the same clothing? Claudia, come here.
Claudia is looking at another exhibition, but she comes over right away. Yeah, do you like it?
It's something. Where is our esteemed unknown? Do you know if they are?
I don't know.
You don't know. Who set it up? How do you even know about this? You say they come and are unannounced. Well, how does that happen? How did you find out this was here?
Oh, Facebook.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Who moved all the exhibitions in? Who's going to clean up when we go?
I don't know. I just saw the event on Facebook and thought, this will be something for you.
Again, I just tap my hand against my arm a little, and my face kind of puts on this very forced smile. Claudia, sometimes I wonder why you aren't higher up in the business. Your knowledge of stuff is so extensive.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. It's weird, huh?
I turn my attention back to the art.
I
don't like it.
You don't like it?
No. It's gosh. Oh, look. If this wasn't dead bodies, or what look like dead bodies, what's the actual art? Where's the skill and talent? Hardly any. Okay, they look pretty good, but anyone can make a mannequin and dress it up.
I guess, but I kind of think it sends a powerful message. Like, if you look at the dad, how he's like rotten, almost like he looks rotten, but the rest of the family looks like fresh. Like, it's almost like he's like, you know, the rotten apple of the family. She pulls out a notebook and she starts writing down, and you can definitely see this is something that's going to go in her online art block.
I kind of give a little bored huff, and I begin looking around the rest of the room. How many exhibits are there? Is there any indication that there's more to this than just this large room, or is this seem to be the main place?
You start to investigate the room, but before you get very far, Claudia pulls your sleeve and she says, when you're finished, I kind of need to talk to you about, like, some rumors I've heard. It doesn't really have anything to do with this, but I kind of think it's something you'll be interested in, so I'm gonna be here, but just when you're done, just hit me up.
Yes, Claudia, no problemo.
Alright, so you look around the room, and you do see there are 2 back doors in the room. Behind these, behind 2 big aquariums. You get an more or less an accurate number of how many aquariums that are in this room, and it's 18. And they differ from having a single person in them to having several persons in them. And they just seem like to portray normal life.
It's clearly some sort of message about the mundanity of existence, or the rotten apple, as it were. I suppose it's slightly interesting. I shall go back to Claudia and say, well, I can admire the scale, but I'm not really getting much more than that. I suppose it's something. Let me guess, the punters are adoring it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of having a hard time, but I really think it is sending a powerful message. I can, like, feel it in my soul almost, you know?
Still, I'm not sure what else I can say. If unknown is unknown, I can hardly speak to them to discuss buying or selling.
I mean, I can try to see if I can figure out who he is.
Do it. I will as well.
I mean, for a price. For a price?
Your standard fare will be administered, Claudia.
Nothing more than that? I mean, I think this is a pretty good find, to be honest. I mean, you've never seen anything like this before. I know you haven't. She almost gets a little cocky. You don't like it at all. How dare she?
I don't. I kind of just lean in and say, correction, Claudia. I have. Just not on this scale, and not with such mystery. So don't correct me, okay? You wouldn't want me to suddenly no longer like you, would you, dear?
No, I guess not. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can figure out who unknown is. I kind of want to know myself. It's kind of hot that he's, like, unknown. If you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
No. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can figure out who he is.
Good. And I sort of bristle for a moment. I'm steadily disliking this individual more and more. There they are with their mystique and audacity, as if that makes an artist. Anyone could do that. Anyone. But I kind of distract myself. Claudia, what was the other thing you had to mention to me?
Claudia lifts a finger and opens her mouth, as if she's about to say something, but then you hear your phone go off in your pocket. Or your pager.
A moment. I check my pager.
You see it is from your dear sire.
What does it say?
It says, call me.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the chronicle The Sacrifice from Chicago by Night for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Chicago by Night is published by our friends at Onyx Path Publishing, and Vampire the Masquerade is published by Modiphius. Our storyteller was Klara Horskjær Herbøl, and we were also joined by the gentleman gamer Matthew Dawkins. Check them out on social media and on their Patreons to support their work in the tabletop space. The intro was composed for us by the amazing Simon Kølle, and he has also provided us with all of the music for this chronicle. Check out his work at simonkolle.com. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. More importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out on Patreon. Thank you again for listening, and see you soon again.